Dogs are often called man's best friend, and for good reason. Sometimes they even seem smarter than humans. Their incredible senses have proven invaluable in many situations. From a dog that can sense the dead to one that can talk with humans, here are the 20 best trained and disciplined dogs in the world. Number 20. Woman with type 1 diabetes has adorable alert dog who helps save her life. One night, Sam Stocking was soundly sleeping when the insulin pump that was implanted in her body stopped functioning. Stocking, who has type 1 diabetes, has a continuous glucose monitor that beeps a warning but doesn't wake her or her husband. Her Labrador puppy, Corey, began licking her when she realized something was wrong and ultimately leapt into the bed and onto her to rouse her so she could solve it. She claims that Corey has often saved her life. At the age of 4, Central Illinois resident Stocking received a type 1 diabetes diagnosis. Since then, controlling her blood sugar levels has required continual juggling. After entering her 20s, she lost the ability to feel when her blood sugar would rise or fall until it reached dangerously high levels. 5 years ago, she had to put in her first continuous glucose monitor, but she contacted her doctor for more assistance after realizing that the monitor occasionally had erratic technology and concerned that it might not wake them up. This brought her to Corey. The trainer's contact information was provided by Stocking's doctor, who explained the advantages of a diabetes alert dog and how to get one for herself. In 2019, she discovered a litter of purebred Labrador retrievers, and it was around this time that she met Corey, a 1-week-old yellow lab. Number 19. Dog communicates with human by talking buttons. Participants in a colloquium at UC San Diego recently convened to honor a community scientific endeavor evaluating animal cognition. Catering was provided for the event, but not dog food, unfortunately for Oski and Mila, who could have been considered special guests. They're two of the several dogs who can speak to their owners by pressing buttons on a soundboard. Owners arrange the plastic tiles that make up the soundboard's array of buttons as they choose. The buttons include words like play, potty, outside, eat, and stretches, which refers to scratchy pet caresses that dogs like. Taylor Arco is one of 1,200 individuals from 47 nations who will be asked to contribute information about their dog's capacity for communication. What they refer to as the largest community scientific initiative ever conducted on animal communication is being led by scientists at UC San Diego. What's the problem? On social media, several of the dogs have reached celebrity status already. Arco said that Mila, her dog, had more than 240,000 Instagram followers and currently speaks in 31 different phrases. Federico Rossano, a cognitive scientist at UC San Diego, is the project's director. According to him, the purpose of researching animal cognition is to identify the characteristics of human thinking that set it apart from those of other species. Number 18. Newfoundland saved a child. The British imported a minor breed of Irish dogs and crossed them with their Mastiff to make the Newfoundland. The original Irish breed is weather-resistant, has a thick coat, and is double-layered for insulation. In particular, the membranes between their toes help them to be excellent swimmers. The English Mastiff is huge and has powerful muscles. By mating these two animals, the British created a fantastic breed of water rescue canines. In the 19th century, they took it to Canada's Newfoundland to assist fishermen who were discovering new colonial territory. The dog has retained its name of Newfoundland since that time. The Newfoundland is the perfect breed for a water rescue dog. Males can grow to 1.8 meters long, 76 centimeters tall, and 80 kilograms in weight. Their large frame indicates their power and endurance. Even boats and swimmers can be pulled by this pooch through the water. The double coat allows it to swim even in frigid water, and the webbing on its feet gives it a really powerful swim. This breed has a long tradition of being taught to utilize its instincts to protect people. Even Napoleon Bonaparte was saved from a shipwreck by a Newfoundland in 1815 when he escaped the island of Elba in order to return to France and seize the crown. Number 17. Dog trained to fetch a beer. You'll soon be spending a bright day outside at the pool or beach. Applying sunscreen and sipping on a nice cold drink since summer is just around the corner. Only someone bringing you another beer when your current one runs dry would improve this awesome day. Who can you ask if you don't have any buddies around? You may try asking your dog for a new trick that'll be sure to impress any partygoers. This guy asked Ellie for help, and she gladly lent a hand. Just check this out. Even though she dropped it, her trick is still the greatest we've ever seen. This dog was born to retrieve things, which is why it's called a golden retriever. Its gorgeous golden coat and kind, caring personality are also what define it. It's one of the most frequently recognized breeds in a number of Western nations and is regularly kept as a pet. It frequently participates in dog competitions and obedience tests and is employed as a gun dog or may be trained to work as a seeing eye dog. Number 16. A pack of obedient huskies wait for command to eat. Although huskies are thought to be among the hardest dogs to train, this isn't necessarily the case. These guys here are quite well trained, and the owner of this pack will demonstrate that to you today. They respond to orders like, "Look at me," "Wait," and yes, they practice with food treats. The Siberian Husky puppy is gorgeous. They're not show dogs despite what their outward look would suggest. They can withstand even the harshest environments and are long-lasting. When a husky faces challenges in life, they're more content than ever. To begin with, they relish the opportunity to employ their incredible strength and endurance by pulling sleds. This is a dog that requires a significant level of education and care. You'll need to maintain this dog in a cold location like Alaska or somewhere similar because of its thick winter coat, which will make it uncomfortable in high temperatures. Number 15. Police dog with blindfolds walks expertly on tightrope amazingly. Lucky, the police dog, managed to navigate a tightrope while wearing blinders over his eyes. He made a leap without falling once, holding the rope firmly between his paws as he edged closer to the other end. Federal and municipal governments utilize police dogs for law enforcement. They're frequently assigned to a canine unit with a specific handler, and they must learn a variety of verbal cues and hand signals. Depending on where, how, and for what, the training of a police dog can take anywhere from 8 months to a year. To reinforce their training, police dogs frequently participate in regular training sessions with their designated handler. In many nations, it's illegal to purposely harm or kill a police dog. Since the Middle Ages, dogs have been utilized in police enforcement. The maintenance of the bloodhounds employed to track down outlaws by the parish constable was paid for with wealth and money tithed in the village. In St. Malo, France, around the beginning of the 14th century, police dogs were initially deployed to defend piers and ports. Bloodhounds, also known as sleuth dogs, were used in Scotland by the late 14th century. From this, the name sleuth, meaning detective, is coined. Between the 12th and 20th centuries, police dogs were predominantly utilized for tracking on the British Isles and the continent of Europe. In the 19th century, England and France saw significant urbanization, raising public anxiety about escalating crime. Number 14. Dog perfectly imitates owner on crutches. Dogs are such kind, innocent creatures. By being themselves, they always manage to make us smile and uplift our spirits. Nobody here who has a dog would disagree. And speaking of devotion, look at the support dogs provide their owners. The outcome of one tiny dog's display of support for his injured owner is, to put it mildly, endearingly amusing. The puppy, who's now making the internet laugh, is named Sawyer. You see, the teenager who owns him has a broken leg and is on crutches. In the backdrop of the footage, Sawyer can be seen hobbling after the youngster as he enters the room on crutches. Sawyer isn't hurt. Rather, he's just imitating his owner's gait. Although there's always a potential that he's making fun of the injured youngster, the majority of us who are familiar with dogs' propensity for compassion can already tell that Sawyer is only expressing his support and sympathy. And it's because of this compassion that dogs make such excellent companions, even if it occasionally makes for a pretty funny situation. Number 13. Dog gets a workout during heel work to music. At Crufts 2018, Alina Smolikova and Jerry's heel work to music freestyle act caused them to sweat. Just check out these awesome moves. They totally wowed the crowd at Crufts and were surely given all the medals, Oscars, and dog treats they could hold. First held in 1891, Crufts is an annual international dog competition conducted in the UK. It's the biggest exhibition of its sort anywhere in the world, organized and presented by the Kennel Club. The major event at Crufts is a championship dog conformation show. It has a sizable trade expo with a focus on products and services for dogs, as well as dog agility, obedience, flyball, and heel work to music contests. Additionally, the annual Friends for Life competition, which honors unsung canine heroes, and the finals of the crossbreed competition, Scruffs, are both revealed at Crufts. It takes place at the National Exhibition Centre in Solihull, England, from Thursday to Sunday in early March, and a number of competitions are usually taking place simultaneously. The Best in Show prize is the focus of the primary competition, which attracts dogs and their owners from all over the world. Crufts is named after its creator, Charles Cruft, who traveled to dog shows both domestically and abroad while working as a general manager for a producer of dog biscuits. This allowed him to make contacts and recognize the need for a greater standard in dog shows. The first Great Terrier Show, the inaugural Crufts Show, included 600 entrants and 57 divisions in 1886. The first event to bear the moniker Crufts' Greatest Dog Show took place in the Royal Agriculture Hall in Islington in 1891, with over 2,000 canines and nearly 2,500 participants. It was the first competition to invite competitors of all breeds to compete. Number 12. High IQ dog helps owner buy food. This intelligent dog supports his owner's weekly food shop, although smaller fruits seem to be disliked by the dog, who demands larger ones. Although he could be a touch greedy, he's a terrific helper. According to studies, keeping a pet or therapy animal has advantageous psychological, social, and physical consequences. Particularly helpful and having a range of advantages are guide dogs. They increase a blind person's security, companionship, and confidence. Service animals provide blind people more self-assurance and give them a continuous companion in their daily lives. A service dog's companionship helps people who are lonely, depressed, or anxious feel better. With the help of animals, one may find comfort, security, and friendship. Stress has also decreased, which enhances cardiovascular health. Because they make it easier to move about, guide dogs encourage greater walking or other forms of physical activity. The animals could promote more social connection between people. Animals are thought of as being icebreakers to a conversation since they provide topics for discussion. Number 11. Incredible dog performs perfect tactical maneuvers. Robert Zambruski, a dog trainer and security consultant, and his incredible dog Milo, the machine of Luton, Bedfordshire, England, expertly displayed a particular type of tactical crowd control in which Milo positions himself between Zambruski's legs. The two walk, run, and move in perfect unison. It sort of looks like dancing since they're so gracefully moving together. Dogs are amazing allies in security and even in the military. Dogs have been used in battle for a long period of time, dating back to antiquity. Their functions have ranged from battle training to serving as scouts, sentinels, couriers, compassion dogs, and trackers, and some of these roles still exist in the current military. Dogs were occasionally used in war by the Greeks and Romans, although they're often used as sentries or patrols. Around 600 BC, Alyattes of Lydia used war dogs in combat against the Cimmerians, according to ancient texts. Some intruders were slain by the Lydian hounds, while others were repelled. Cambyses too used dogs, cats, and other animals that the Egyptians revered in the Battle of Pelusium. He's said to have been able to convince the Egyptians to stop firing their projectile weapons by placing these animals on the front lines. Attila the Hun employed enormous battle dogs in his operations during the late antiquity. Throughout the Middle Ages, European monarchs would trade gifts of war dog breeding stock as acceptable forms of payment. Armed dogs were utilized by other cultures to protect caravans or engage in combat. Number 10. Canine dogs extremely trained and disciplined. It's arguable that the most common use of a police dog is apprehending suspects. Police dogs are taught to attack and hold captive dangerous suspects. They're frequently the first to risk their life and confront an armed suspect in order to defend their human counterparts. Herding breeds like the Belgian Malinois, German Shepherd dogs, and Dutch Shepherds make up the majority of police dogs. Herding breeds have been developed for hundreds of years to have the physical prowess and brains necessary to cooperate with their masters to herd livestock, qualities they also require to confine a dangerous individual. Nevertheless, they must be sound canines that can only respond to their handlers' commands and recognize when someone poses a threat. The first widespread usage of dogs occurred in continental Europe. The first structured police dog service program was established in 1899 by the police department in Ghent, Belgium. Police in Paris had already started deploying dogs against roving criminal gangs at night. These techniques quickly extended to Austria-Hungary and Germany, where trials in dog breeding and training led to the first scientific advancements in the discipline. The first dog training school was established by the German police at Grunheide in 1920, after deciding that the German Shepherd dog was the best breed for police service. Many Belgian Malinois dogs were eventually recruited to the squad. Number 9. Poodle dog plays the piano. While his owners are away, this white poodle enjoyed himself by playing the piano. We're overjoyed that a new singing dog has come into our internet lives. The white dog is seen climbing up onto the piano stool in the video and warming up with a few cluster chords. After warming up, he finds his voice, throws his head back, and starts to howl along. He provides the musical solo and accompaniment that we didn't realize we needed by interspersing his piano playing with rhythmic yelps. Despite claims to the contrary, Germany is where the poodle is said to have originated. Wildfowl hunters first utilized the standard poodle to recover prey from water. The smaller variants of the breed were developed in France from the original, where they were previously frequently employed as circus performers, but are now well-liked companion animals. The poodle comes in a broad range of colors and patterns, including Part 1, Abstract, Sable, Brindle, and Phantom. Its coat can also be white, black, brown, blue, gray, silver, cafe latte, silver beige, cream, apricot, or red. The FCI recognizes black, white, brown, gray, and fawn as colorations. The way different registries treat multicolored poodles differs. They were widespread historically but lost favor in the early 1900s and are now often not included in registrations. Poodles with both semi-colored and multicolored coats are accepted by the American Kennel Club, but only solid-colored poodles are allowed to participate in competitions. Number 8. Norman the Scooter Dog. Karen Cobb, a mother and certified dog trainer, recalls the first time she was intrigued by having a Briard. It was in 1997 after reading an article about the unusual breed in a pet magazine. A client promptly brought her one to train, having piqued her interest. Briards are working dogs and are renowned for their friendly dispositions, flexible herding bodies, and quick reflexes. Soon after starting to train this kind of dog, Karen realized that she wanted one. She had no idea that after receiving her Briard, Norman, he would go on to become not only her best friend but also acquire 2 Guinness World Records, an experience they would both cherish. Karen made the decision to continue working with Norman on his abilities after seeing his potential and his desire for training. It didn't take him long to learn how to play basketball, jump rope, surf, longboard, and compete in canine sports, including agility, obedience, barn hunting, and herding. Although mastering each of these tasks was an outstanding achievement for a dog, learning to ride a bicycle was the Briard's best new skill. Although it can be challenging for humans to learn, Norman did it relatively fast, leading Karen to submit an application for the title of the fastest 30 meters on a bicycle by a dog. And now he's known worldwide as a true champion. Number 7. Dog delivers newspapers every morning in Mystic. Every morning, Morgan, the Australian cattle dog, travels beside Brian and Jennifer Kettleden through their Mystic neighborhood, collecting copies of the day from a number of neighborhood drives and bringing them to their doorsteps. This is one of the most helpful dogs ever and makes life a little bit easier for the residents of Mystic. The Australian livestock dog, also known as the cattle dog, is a breed of herding dog that was created in Australia for droving cattle in difficult terrain over long distances. This breed is a short-haired, medium-sized dog that comes in 2 primary color varieties. It has white fur that's quite uniformly covered in either brown or black hair, giving the impression that it's a red or blue dog. The Australian cattle dog is a lively, intelligent dog with an independent bend. Just like other working breeds, it tends to need good training and has a history of nipping children who are running, as if it was raised to herd them through biting. It develops a close bond with its owners and may become fiercely protective of them and their belongings. They only require brushing during the shedding season. Deafness, gradual blindness, and unintentional injury are the most frequent health issues. Otherwise, the breed is hardy and has a lifetime of 12 to 16 years. Number 6. Trained dog cleans the house. This is Blazer, a fantastic canine. While the owner is at work, this well-trained dog cleans the house. Dogs have been trained to carry out a wide variety of practical tasks, such as search and rescue, guarding, detecting explosives and drugs, or assisting people with disabilities. But Blazer's talents show that dogs can even be trained for domestic tasks, which seems almost too good to be true. Videos of Blazer folding laundry, sweeping floors, and even putting toys away have gone viral, captivating audiences who marvel at his unique abilities. Dogs have also been trained to carry out leisure tasks such as companionship and shooting assistance. But as cleaners? That's a new one for me. Marcus Varro, a Roman farmer, wrote instructions on how to raise and train pups for herding animals somewhere between 127 and 116 BC. His writing suggests that early training was valued and that dog training for certain jobs was well established. The number of television shows and companion books that are focused on dog training and rehabilitation has increased significantly in the 21st century. The Association of Pet Dog Trainers urges viewers to closely assess the material before determining which training suggestions to take because television programs can largely be made for entertainment, even if all programs include both positive and negative aspects. Number 5. Dog delivers groceries during COVID-19. Karen Eveleth of Colorado taught Sunny to bring groceries to her neighbor who needed oxygen during the coronavirus outbreak. Renee Hellman had no idea a golden retriever would bring her groceries. It was, however, one of the better possibilities for Hellman, a 71-year-old resident of Manitou Springs, Colorado, a resort community west of Colorado Springs, close to Pikes Peak. So Karen Eveleth, who had lived next door to her for 10 years, taught her dog Sundance to assist in carrying meals to Hellman. Sunny typically provides 8 pounds of birdseed, bags of flour, veggies, and plastic dishes with the promise of a reward of duck jerky as incentive. Eveleth had the thought after reading a report on dogs providing comfort to patients at a Denver hospital. Sundance, according to Eveleth, has always been willing to assist people. He's a humble hero. When he hears something drop, he knows I've got to get that for Mom because I have a bad back. He also gets the mail. I have a carrier leave the box open. Sunny has 2 siblings, but delivery and pickup are not in their DNA. Number 4. Retired police dog who discovered a fake skeleton in a tree while walking in the park. Kyle, the worn-out former police dog, captured the hearts of the Smith family the moment they laid eyes on him. After serving as a service dog for 8 years, he recently retired and was eager to spend the rest of his days being cuddled and cared for. The family liked nothing more than bringing Kyle to work every day after adopting him. They frequently took him to the nearby wooded area. Even though he would never catch them, Kyle enjoyed pursuing squirrels that he came across, but his attention was drawn to something else. Kyle has extensive police training experience, and he's not normally combative, but if somebody does threaten the officer he was with or his new family, he could be. As usual, the day began with them beginning their stroll. As Kyle sprang in front of him, Mr. Smith saw that the tree's bark was loose. As he drew closer to it, Kyle started barking loudly. Smith steadied himself, pulled it aside, revealing the tree's hollow insides, and felt amazed. This ex-police dog keeps barking at a tree and then finds a lot more than wood inside. They found a human skeleton hidden inside the tree, thanks to Kyle's guidance. They had to gently cut the tree down in order to examine the situation because it was so tightly packed inside the trunk. In fact, the skeleton was a replica of a life-size human skeleton. It must have been hidden under the tree as a Halloween trick or joke by someone who then forgot about it. Number 3. The dog who plays football better than you. Alfie, also known as Ronaldo Dog by onlookers in his neighborhood park, has a devoted following of admirers. Owner Peter Simpkins says he frequently receives requests from members of the public to bring Alfie in for a Britain's Got Talent audition or to speak with his neighborhood Premier League team. Alfie's incredible soccer skills, including dribbling and heading the ball with remarkable precision, have made him a local celebrity. His daily performances in the park draw crowds, with people gathering just to watch him play. Simpkins says, "It's really nice when bystanders approach us and praise Alfie's abilities. My favorite response so far comes from a regular dog walker who tells me that when her elderly mother is depressed, she watches Alfie's videos on YouTube because they make her feel better." Simpkin aspires to dispel the unfavorable impression that some people still have about rescue dogs after showcasing Alfie's artistic abilities to the world. He says when it's time to buy a dog, he wants to inspire them to adopt, not shop. Who knows? You could end up rehoming the next doggy soccer star. Number 2. Disciplined dogs wait patiently for their names to be called. Allison Hill, who has 10 dogs, is a proud dog mom. Allison calls her dogs one by one in the sweetest roll call video ever to demonstrate how well-trained they are. The discipline and patience her dogs show is impressive, especially considering the variety of breeds and sizes in her pack. Each dog, though eager, waits for their name to be called before making their way up the stairs, showing just how much trust and respect they have for Allison. Allison shows the audience the 10 dogs waiting patiently at the bottom of the steps while she's seated at the top of the stairs. Following that, she begins addressing them by their names: Delia, Ashtur, Jinx, Mayhem, Chaos, Karma, Destiny, Kizzy, Siri, and Trouble. It's pretty adorable to see each dog peacefully approach after hearing their name called. The bond between Allison and her dogs is undeniable, and it's clear that they've all worked together to build this impressive level of obedience. It's the sweetest little league selection ever. Number 1. Hundreds of dogs eating food with discipline. Here's a bizarre scene of about 100 dogs waiting for food. Watch how patiently these wonderful dogs wait for it to be distributed so they can eat. Dogs are regarded as omnivores with a preference for carnivorous foods. While they prefer meat, they have adapted to consume a variety of food types, making them more flexible in their diets than strict carnivores like cats. Their digestive systems have also evolved to process some plant-based foods, even though their bodies aren't as efficient at breaking down starches. They are obligate carnivores like cats, lacking the 10 genes responsible for starch and glucose digestion and the ability to produce amylase, an enzyme that works to break down carbohydrates into simple sugars. However, they have the sharp, pointed teeth and shorter gastrointestinal tracts of carnivores, better suited for the consumption of meat than vegetable substances. Dogs developed the capacity to coexist with people in agricultural communities because they survived on human scraps and waste. Their remarkable ability to adapt to different food sources over time helped shape the modern domestic dog's diverse diet. Which of these dogs did you love the most? Have you ever seen an amazing dog trick? Let us know in the comments below. Also, check out the other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now. See you next time.